Welcome to the Affiliate Mastery Podcast, a show about making money online and mastering the affiliate game. Your host, Frank Chan. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Affiliate Mastery Podcast. I'll be your host today, Frank Chen, and I want to thank you guys so much for your continued support to our podcast. It's been a blast creating this content for you today. And as usual, if there's anything you ever need regarding affiliate consulting, knowledge, education, if you want to just get in a meeting with us, feel free to check out the affiliateincubator.com. We also have a winning webinar formula that you can get absolutely for free. It's a free download. To get it, go to affiliateincubator.com and get it today. So today's topic is a very popular one, which is how do we attract more affiliates by asking the right questions. And too often do I work with clients or when people approach me with their products that they're focusing on all the wrong things, right? So I'm going to walk you through how to navigate these conversations and turn more no's and maybes into yeses. So first and foremost, the most important thing that you have to remember is that we're in the business of creating relationships, right? And ultimately, it is your choice on whether you want to establish a one and done type of relationship or a strategic partnership that you can continually tap back into every 3 to 6 months. And pretty much with this type of cadence, you can actually start doing what I call opportunity stacking, which really helps you narrow down your 12-month calendar into 6 to 12 solid affiliates versus 25 plus, which most people think more is better. But a lot of the time, small affiliates, large affiliates, you're going to be spending the same amount of time, effort, and energy with them for the same or different varying results, meaning you can spend as much time with a small affiliate that you would with a large one, and they're only going to be able to produce maybe 1 or 2 sales versus a larger affiliate who can maybe do 10 to 20 sales. So we have to really boil this down to time. Do you have the time to give everybody the same type of attention, or do you have to focus more on the outcome? Right. I'm all about the outcome because we all have a limited amount of time in the day. We can't spend it talking to everybody. So what we're going to be talking about today is really going to help you guys get through straight to the important details while building an actual relationship with the right affiliates, right? So what this comes down to is, are you having the right type of conversations, asking the right type of questions, and are you gathering information instead of selling? Okay. Now, if you are starting every conversation trying to sell your product and why it's awesome and all the testimonials that it's creating and blah, 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 I want you to pause and ask yourself a very simple question. Is what I have even what they need? And are all the features that I'm focusing on even something that they care about? And the best analogy that I can relate this to is like if you went to go buy a car, I'm perusing the car lot, looking at it, and a salesman comes up to you is like, hey, this bad boy has this, that, this, and this. You're going to love this, love that, love this. But all I went there is all I care about is safety ratings, or all I care about is this one specific thing. How does a salesperson know what I want if all he does is the moment he comes up to me and starts pitching me? As a car buyer, I'm going to feel very icky, right? I'm going to feel like, oh, this guy's just trying to sell me. He's not even trying to ask what I want. Same thing when it comes to houses, right? Do you go there and just tell people, I'm an investor. I can help you do this. I can help you do that. No, we start asking questions to really boil down to the real issues, right? What is their motivation to buy a car? What is their motivation to sell their house? What is their motivation when talking to affiliates, right? Because understand, they're probably getting bombarded by other people trying to sell them their products or services or whatever it may be. So how do we separate ourselves from all the noise out there, right? Like, don't go into things like if you have a software where you're like, let me show you a demo. We want to schedule a call, show you how all of this cool, all the bells and whistles and all these things. But what you have to understand is, what if you have a sophisticated product, right? And it's not suitable for newbies. Or maybe you have a product that is mainly for newbies, which isn't a fit for experienced investors. And that's what happens with most people when I talk to them, is that they get so involved in the features and what this is that they don't even know that they're talking over someone's head. And that's why they get a no. But they go into conversation thinking, well, this product is amazing. It's great. I use it. My students, everybody's making money with it. But if it is not in alignment with the affiliate that you're talking about, it does not matter how cool your product is. Or if they already have a relationship established with somebody else that does exactly what you're doing, then all you're doing is just talking a whole bunch and they've already lost interest because, well, they already have loyalty to someone else, right? So really by diving into the features, what your product is, you might have already turned off half the people you're talking to without even knowing it. So instead, I highly recommend you try this, right? So if I had a product, and how I talk to most of my affiliate opportunities is, hey, I have a great product, or I work with someone who has a really, really great product, and that's my main reason for wanting to reach out to you. But before we even talk about any of that stuff, tell me a little bit more about your list. What do they care about? What do they like? What they don't like? And once they answer, gather the information and write it down. Next thing is, what types of products do you ideally like to promote, right? That don't conflict with your products or your message. That's a big one, right? Most people love products, but if the way you sell it conflicts the way they communicate with their list, there's a conflict of interest there. So definitely ask them, what is the type of messaging, what type of products do you like to stand behind? What is it that you need in order to feel confident and to promote other people's products? Not mine, I say other people's products. And again, gather that information down. Then ask a simple question like, hey, what type of price points does your list like? What don't they like? Do they like continuity offers? Do you like continuity offers? Again, I like to take components of my offer and ask these specific questions because they're like, yes, 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 and they're just checking off all the boxes. That means it's a pretty good fit for my product. But they're like, oh, I only like to sell $97 products and I have a $1,000 product. And my list doesn't really like lead generation type of offers and I'm a lead gen offer. Then what was the point of me starting the conversation just diving into all the features and look how cool this software is about lead gen? Well, if they don't like lead gen, you again have talked over their head. And this is what I call pretty much building your affiliate avatar, right? Every affiliate is going to have do's and don'ts. And by gathering the information, you can quickly tell, okay, am I a good fit or not? And very quickly you can be like, hey, actually it seems like a lot of the things that I can bring to the table aren't a good fit. So let's move on to other areas. It doesn't mean you can't still work together. Now, I do advise you that this is up to you on if y'all want to take this extra step. But if the end goal is to get an affiliate to promote your products, then you may not want to do all these other things if at the end they're just never going to promote your product, right? So this kind of leads us into our next topic, which is building a value for your affiliates, okay? And basically you're trying to understand what areas of their business outside of webinars may you potentially can integrate yourself in, create enough value and trust to where they'll eventually consider promoting your webinar without all the hoops that they typically make you jump through. Okay. So again, by asking the right questions, affiliates are going to tell you exactly what they are looking for. And it's your job to gather that information and then find all the potential ways to work together. Hey, I have a podcast. Hey, I have a newsletter, or I have an article, or hey, I have this and this. I have a blog. I have all these areas where I need things. And if you feel like, okay, I could provide value in all of those areas with your own personal kind of ask at the very, very end of these relationships, hey, now that I've done all these great things, you've seen kind of the quality of work I do, the kind of things, what are your thoughts on doing a webinar, right? Or how are some ways that we can start making money together? And what's really cool about this process, and most of the times where I create the upfront value, affiliates will come back to me asking me, hey, Frank, how can we make money together? That's ultimately, those are what you guys would probably call inbound marketing, right? Where you're creating all these other people come to you to work with you. And that mainly happens when you follow this kind of questioning and gathering of information when approaching each individual affiliate. Okay, hopefully this is making sense. This is something that's really helped me get through the last 12 years, get my foot into a lot of doors and, doing a lot of 5 to 6 figure promotions is because I gathered and I was really thoughtful in my approach. I didn't just treat another affiliate like a statistic, right? Oh, they said no, move on to the next. Oh, they can't do a webinar? Well, I'll move on to the next. It's kind of like, the real estate analogy of wholesalers getting rid of all of their leads, but lease options people can pick up all the leads that wholesalers can't work with. I'm doing the same thing. I'm picking up all the relationships where affiliates who can't just send out an email for you, and that's the only opportunity we can work together. I try to integrate myself in and figure out what are other ways that I can create value for you. Okay. And I'm very transparent that, of course, I want you to promote my webinar, but I know there isn't that trust there yet. And maybe I don't have statistics to back up this webinar promotion, but let me give you something else in place of that to see if we can build some trust. Okay. So again, if a webinar isn't the best fit or a way to work with one another, you have to build enough trust and value and create it in other areas. So maybe later on, it's in their mind, right? Just like in real estate, when we follow up with certain leads, we build the relationship, then we become a resource for them, right? Oh, hey, Frank, I'm wanting to sell my house. Remember you sent me a letter. Do you know if this is a good price? I got to offer this. Be a resource for them. And with enough value created, when it does come time to sell, they're thinking of you. Same thing with affiliates. I like to plant a lot of my seeds, have as many conversations as I can. I spend more time with them so I can really understand their offer, their voice, what they're looking for. Because if I may not be that solution for them, if I have enough conversations, maybe I can make a connection for them to where they're like, oh, wow, Frank made a connection with me, didn't ask anything for it. I want to help him out. How can I help Frank out? Same thing with your products, same thing with the relationship that you create, right? Because you have to understand with affiliates, there is no shortage of wholesale educators, cool pieces of software, fix and flippers, commercial investors. It's almost like they're coming out of the woodworks every month, every quarter. There's someone new coming into the space, spending enough money on advertising to trying to get their corner of their market, right? So what separates you from those people, or essentially your competition, and allows you to rise above others, is to create value for your affiliates where your competition does not. Now, I want to be very clear here. I know gathering a lot of information, they're going to tell you, this is what I need, that's what I need. You're going to get into this mindset of, oh, okay, well, how about I just create a super custom offer that checks off all these boxes, since the original conversation, none of this really made sense for you. But I can fulfill all these things. I caution you to not do that. When you start creating custom offers with custom presentations that you've never tested before, that's exactly what you're doing. Is you're doing a blind test, which, depending on the median, as long as you're fully transparent on that and people get excited about it, that's fine. But if it's really leveraged around sales, meaning I want to do this, we'll create a product, you can't just think, okay, because this fits this person's list exactly, that we're going to sell products, okay? That's a 50-50. There have been times where people are like, well, this is exactly what you need, and the way I presented it, there's a lot of variables there, right? What if the way you sold it was incorrect? What if the price point was incorrect? What if the presentation was too long, too short? What if you missed it? Again, a lot of variables there. And the only way to avoid that is to bring a converting offer to the table, right? And again, that comes back to you. If you don't have a lot of affiliates, you got to do testing on your own. And again, we've had previous episodes where we cover that you need to stress test your offers before even entering this style of conversations, right? So before you even get here, you have a converting offer. What I'm showing you here is just how to get your foot in the door with more affiliates and plant those seeds, okay? There's definitely follow-up in place here. Again, I always emphasize that what we're doing is business development and sales. If you're in the real estate game, just associate it with how you follow up with sellers. Exactly the same process with affiliates. If you're thinking, well, Frank, I really don't have that much time to do it on my own, that's why I highly recommend bringing on an affiliate manager. That's what the incubator is for, is to train people on your team to have these conversations on your behalf. And what we do is we train people to really understand your product, other people's products, and really start thinking beyond just webinars. Webinars are great, but there are so many other revenue buckets that you're ignoring that these type of conversations are going to bring light to. okay? And it's going to allow you to open up conversations into other revenue opportunities. And one of the biggest golden gooses that people ignore is that you are actual investors. You guys actually, have a business outside of your information marketing business. And there may be synergies there that you have to consider that you're potentially ignoring if all you're doing is, hey, do you have a list? Do you have a webinar? And can we work together, right? So really start to consider these conversations on a much deeper level. Now understand, because time is valuable, ask these initial questions that we covered in today's podcast. And if it's already just not a good fit, just a miss in messaging, a miss in products, maybe they're already working with someone else, and be like, hey, thank you so much for your time. If there's any other way we can work together, feel free to keep my information. If it's okay with you, I'd love to follow with you in 30 days, right? But at the end of the day, this will help you navigate around their concerns, objections, their icky feelings, the things that they're not really confident in working with other affiliates, and allow you to overcome these objections in a way through conversation, okay? Now understand, when approaching affiliates, you already want to bring them, again, I've said this before, bring them a converting offer. If you don't have a converting offer, then this conversation will stop once you get them excited to work with you, and you bring them an offer that doesn't convert. All this effort of conversation was kind of wasted, okay? So this is the other 50% of the equation, and I really want you guys to think on this, listen through this podcast again, and realize, just look through the last 3 to 6 months. The people that you sent emails out to, the people you text messaged and called, how are you typically starting that conversation with them? I can almost guarantee if it's you doing it, you're trying to skip a lot of steps because you're just trying to get to a yes. Hey, this is what the offer is. It's really awesome. Are you going to promote it or not? No. Move on to the next contact. Move on to the next contact. But again, you're leaving a lot of money and opportunities on the table to go deeper with some affiliates. Things have definitely changed in the affiliate game. Back in the day, it was all about launches, $2 million launches in 2 months, really short-term effort, big payouts. That's really not the case anymore. We're in a time where it's all about getting in front of our buyers, building a relationship with our communities. And it's the exact same approach with our affiliates. The whole you promote me, I promote you. Yes, there are a handful of those relationships out there. But in order to really expand your reach, really kind of break out and create your own blue ocean, the best thing you can do is have, 1, more conversations, and 2, have the right conversations like we're talking about today. So hopefully this was really, really helpful for you guys. And hopefully on your next conversation, you try some of these tips and you're going to see affiliates become a little bit more relaxed, more comfortable in talking to you and even working with you. Okay, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope this episode was helpful. For more information like this, and again, if you want to get our winning webinar formula, this is 12 years of experience, over $15 million in products, all the best practices wrapped up into this downloadable document. Just simply go to theaffiliateincubator.com, download it there for free, immediately implement it into your business, and start seeing your numbers rise. This is Frank Chen with the Affiliate Mastery Podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I look forward to talking to you guys on the next episode. Take care and bye-bye.